questions in the chats already about what happened in Lethbridge yesterday at the courthouse, because I was in court yesterday covering the sentencing hearing for the remaining Coots 2. And we'll get to that. But first, let's go to Freeland. So I don't know if you guys want me to do my Freeland impression. Maybe I'll do it later.
This is about her touting the liberal gun ban, right, Sheila?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's asked about like skyrocketing crime in the GTA, but literally everywhere.
Yeah.
York Regional Police recently announced the region has seen a 92% increase in shootings and 106% increase in carjackings so far in 2024. And the year's not over yet. And what does Freeland say? Well, she is so proud to talk about, as you all know, our moves on gun control in an effort to make Canadians safer. We have banned assault-style weapons, military-style weapons. No Canadian needs these for hunting. Yeah, we're not allowed to hunt with AR-15s, sister. We already know. But anyway, let's go. Let's
Great
watch
impression.
Toronto and GTA police forces are raising concerns about violent crime, like carjackings and gun crimes, as well as repeat offenders out on bail. York Regional Police highlighted a surge in violent crimes earlier this week. In Durham Region this morning, they told us that 23% of the arrests that are made for a gun crime involves a person already out on bail. And earlier this month, Toronto Police said that gangs are operating with a total disregard for the safety and well-being of others. And separately, the Toronto Police Association called for action against 3 officers that were injured earlier this month, arresting a repeat offender. Is the federal government aware of the impact of the violent crime and gun crimes are having on communities, and what will be done about it?
Thanks for the question. Look, violent crime and gun crime are totally intolerable, are totally unacceptable. And very often it is the most vulnerable among us who are the targets of this crime and whose lives are made really miserable, really scary by the prevalence of this crime. And it is absolutely incumbent on all orders of government to be working together to end violent crime. It's incumbent for all police of all jurisdictions to be working together with all levels of government to put an end to this. I do want to highlight, because you've spoken about gun crime, that, one of the things that makes gun crime possible is guns on the streets. And that is why our government is acting so decisively to get guns off the streets in Canada. That's why we have banned military-style assault weapons. Why should people have them? They should not. These make our lives more dangerous. That's why our government has introduced a freeze on handguns. These are policies that make Canadians safe, that make Canadian families safe, that make women and girls and children safe. That is why our government is committed to them. And I do want to point out, the Conservatives have voted against those really obvious elementary measures that we need to make us safer.
Illegal handguns have become all too easy to access with limited consequences for criminals. And almost all of the guns being...
So Sheila, by the way, when she says she wants to have a country where women and girls and children are safe, what about men? I guess we don't count.
Okay, just hang on. I find a firearm the great equalizer. What am I supposed to do to please Chrystia Freeland? Engage in hand-to-hand combat with a home invader? No!
Sheila, one thing that is in the federal government's control is stopping these ludicrous revolving door bail situations where you could, I'm not making this up, someone is out on bail right now who tried attempted murder, folks, right? That's how high a benchmark. They could stop this, but they won't. It's their hug a thug. Well, there's societal issues, and his mama didn't hug him enough, and father wasn't part of the family. I don't care.
Racism.
You know
They
what, Sheila?
David, before you go on,
Yeah.
they reduced the sentences, the minimum recommended sentences brought in by Stephen Harper on a whole slate of gang-related violence charges due to systemic racism.
Yeah. There's another one. And I'm sorry, I don't want to sound heartless, but I don't care. In fact, Sheila, I subscribe to the point of view. You were found on the streets with an illegal handgun in your possession, 10 years automatic. 10 years, that's it. That would go a way, I think, of ending this problem, as opposed to going after, duck hunters in Saskatchewan, for goodness sakes. And by the way, I got to tell you, you know what I'm taking great pleasure with, Sheila, with these so-called proposed gun bans, is Justin Trudeau's inability to recruit enforcers. Cops don't want any part of this. Then remember, he reached out to the post office, and imagine that I come into my local Shoppers Drug Mart with a rifle, and the pimply faced kid behind the counter goes, "Oh, is that loaded, sir?" I mean, it was so ludicrous. And then, of course, the most recent thing, which I'm pleased to report is failing, is recruiting retired RCMP officers to do the dirty work. I heard a great interview with Tony Bernardo. He's the head honcho of the Canadian Shooting Sports Association. And what he said, Sheila, it makes perfect sense from what they can gather. This is going over like a Led Zeppelin, that law enforcement personnel typically do not want to be in the role of the bad guy. They hate that.
No.
So the idea of door knocking to legal gun owners and being the heavy and forcing them to turn in their gun, they want no part of that. So that retired RCMP scheme, that's going down in flames too. Who's going to carry out these bans? That's what I want to know, Sheila.
I just want to tell people about Dr. McCullough's event with our friends from Canadians for Truth, because I have heard him speak. I saw him speak in Red Deer. And what a brave man. Time has proven that man right about almost everything. And to listen to him, so thoughtful, not the wiggle-eyed crazy person the mainstream media painted him as. So on Saturday, September 14th, David, I actually hope you can go, because to listen to him speak is great. And it's great to have all those skeptics gathered in one place thinking, I told you so, to the world. So coming to the Toronto area, our friends at Canada Christian College are hosting. Many doctors bravely risked their careers to oppose the unscientific approach to governments around the world that they took to COVID-19, but perhaps none with the same weight and authority as Dr. McCullough. It's a full-day event. It will take place at the Canada Christian College in Whitby and feature speeches and Q&A with Dr. McCullough and special guests Dr. Mark Trozzi and Regina Wattiel, NHL legend Theo Fleury, and Canadian business magnate from Saskatchewan, Joseph Bourgault, will be in attendance to host the event. So get your tickets right now. Go right now.